Hi, I'm Shawn Jaffer. I'm a consumer protection attorney, and my office is located in Dallas, Texas. I help consumers throughout the state of Texas deal with and fix credit reporting errors that are resulting from inaccurate credit reporting on their credit reports with Equifax, Experian, and Trans Union. The first thing I want to talk to you about is how do you go about to fix an error on your credit report the correct way. The first thing I recommend my clients do, if they haven't done this already, is to send a dispute to the credit bureaus. It could be Equifax, it could be Experian, or Trans Union, or all three if the error is on all three reports. What you want to do is you want to write a letter. You want to write a simple letter that says, "Dear Equifax, my name is Shawn Jaffer," for example. "I'm disputing the following account." Let's say it's a Capital One account. I'll write Capital One. I could write the account number and the balance. Then I would write on the letter, "The reason for my dispute is because," and you could put the reason. "It's not my account. I was never late," for example, or whatever the problem is with the error on that account, right? The next thing I would do is I would say, "I want you to fix this account error by deleting this account," if that's what you want, or correcting the payment history to show that I was never late, if that's your situation. Then I would write my name, sign it. Below my name, I would write my address, my full date of birth, my full social security number, and then I would write a phone number for them to contact me. Then what's required on a mail dispute is that you provide them a proof of address, which could be a utility bill for light, gas, or water. If you don't have one of those, then a bank statement, and make sure you cross out the balance of the bank statement. Just make sure that they can see the address on there. Once you do that, the next thing is they want to see a proof of social security number, which I don't recommend sending them a copy of your card, but you can send them a copy of your W-2, and you cross out your income. Now, once you've done that, if you have any additional documentation that shows that why the information is incorrect, I would attach that, and make sure you send them copies of it, not the originals, ever. So you send copies of any letters you may have from the original creditor that says it wasn't your account, the account was paid in full, or you weren't late, or whatever the problem is. And now if you have those, attach them, and you attach the copies, you send them in to each bureau that has the error. So if it's only showing up on two, make sure you send it to those two. Okay? Now when you mail these out, and please don't do these online. Online systems are not the best way to do the dispute. It's easier, it's faster, and there's a reason for that. I prefer if you do everything by mail. And when you send it out by mail, you make sure you send it out certified mail with return receipts requested. That way we can prove that they received your dispute, and that way we're sure that they'll respond within the 30 days. So once the credit bureaus receive your dispute, what they have to do is they have to conduct an investigation. And the first thing they do is they scan in the documents, and they send it over an ACDV, a dispute notice, over to the company that's reporting that information to the credit bureau. Now, once that company receives that ACDV dispute notice, what they have to do is conduct a reasonable investigation. Many cases we sue on, these companies fail to conduct what's called a reasonable investigation, and then in those cases we get our clients damages up to $1,000 for statutory damages, unless you have actual damages for paying a higher interest rate on a mortgage or loan, or being denied credit for some reason or another, or if some cases they're much more serious issues. We can talk to you in a private consultation about your actual damages if you have those in those cases. But what happens after that is that company then transmits that information back to the credit bureaus. It could be Equifax, Experian, or Trans Union, and then one of those credit bureaus then have to conduct a reasonable re-investigation, making sure that the certification that this company sent over, that the data furnishing company sent back to the credit bureau, is accurate. They can't simply rely on the certification that the information being reported is accurate. So what they must do is they must conduct another a reasonable reinvestigation, look at the documents that you supplied, look at your information, see if the Social Security numbers match up, if the date of birth matches up, different things like that match up. And then what they'll do at that point is send you back a dispute results and a updated credit report. So when you get that back in the mail, usually around 30 days or a few days, give or take, because of mail delivery time, you have to look at the results page. It'll be the first couple pages usually on the credit report, and it'll tell you how they handled the dispute and what they did with that account. It'll say a couple things. It'll say the account was verified as accurate. Well, if that happens, and the information you have provided, and it's really not your account, then you have a claim for a violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. If they send you back a report that says, okay, this information has been updated and corrected or deleted, okay, and that information has been updated or corrected correctly, then you're done. You can stop watching this video, and that's it. You don't need an attorney. You solve the problem. Now, if what happens is sometimes they'll update the information, and let's say they're reporting you 3 months late, but you're never late. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll update one of those months as not late, and the other 2 months they'll still show you reported as late. Or there'll be some other problem with that account, or that account might have several errors. It might fix one of those several errors. If that happens, or they don't correct the entire mistake, you have a claim for a FCRA violation. You give my office a call again, and we'll go forward on that. Now, at that point, if they fail to conduct what's called a reasonable reinvestigation by the credit bureaus, or a reasonable investigation by the data furnishing company, what we'll do is we'll draft a lawsuit for the violations of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and we'll sue them in federal court, and we get their attention. And these lawsuits are serious lawsuits. They're in federal court, and they have to spend lots of money to defend these lawsuits. So they are going to be motivated to enter into a settlement, especially if the facts are in your favor. So what happens at that point is you don't pay a penny for this case. Now, if there's a case, my office and I pay for the filing fees and all court costs and expenses. You don't pay for attorney's fees because the FCRA allows me to recover my attorney's fees from the credit reporting agencies and the data furnishers. So nothing comes out of your pocket. Whether I win the case or lose the case, you're not going to pay me from your pocket a penny. Simple as that. Now, there's several violations of the FCRA. Well, some violations are that they're that the reporting information that's not accurate, and you disputed it and doesn't come off, we sue. Another violation of the FCRA is that they're reporting derogatory or negative information on your credit report that's more than 7 years old. You know, old information that's negative and derogatory cannot be on there that long. Sometimes they're reporting someone else's account. Sometimes they're, and when they refuse to fix these problems, that's when an FCRA attorney gets involved, and that's when we sue, and that's when we get used settlement and damages awarded by the judge or in a settlement with the credit bureaus and the data furnishing companies. So if you have any questions about how the FCRA works, or if you have a claim for a violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, give my office a call. I'm attorney Shawn Jaffer, and my office is located in Dallas, Texas. Once again, I do represent clients throughout the entire state of Texas. And it doesn't matter if you're in Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, McAllen, El Paso, or anywhere else in the state of Texas. I'm licensed to practice the law, and I'm admitted on all the federal circuit, all the federal district courts in Texas. And I'll be more than happy to take on your case. So give my office a call, schedule time to speak with me. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have a case, I'll let you know, and we'll take it from there.